Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to talk about Tombow markers. Now this is the quantity I own, but I'm only using these colors today, so far as I know. Now I have done a rough sketch of their original logo that was from 1928 to 57, and I did this with a Micron 05. All my supplies will be linked in the description box, along with links to everything I'm talking about today, because there's some really interesting things. So I'm going to show you how I like to use these, and I will also be using a fine mist sprayer. Now, Tombow is actually a Japanese company. I want to talk about this too. So this is, it's a Ziploc bag, and I put a piece of paper in here so I could see the white. Now, any piece of plastic sheeting, from grocery packaging to subject dividers in binders or plastic sheet protectors, anything like that can be used. I'm going to be using this kind of like a palette. And since I'm doing a no-buy art supply, these are supplies I have. So Ziploc and just a folded paper inside. So Tombow is a Japanese company, and it was originally founded as a pencil company in 1918. So it has been around for over 100 years. And originally the company was named after its founder, whose name was Agawa Haruzuki Shoten. And that was in, when it was founded in 1913. In 1927, the brand was renamed to Tombow. Now, in Japan, the word Tombow, T-O-N-B-O, means dragonfly, and they changed it to Tombow because they thought it would be easier for international folks to say and use. But Tombow directly translates to dragonfly, which is why the dragonfly is on their pens. It's their little logo. Now, in the Japanese culture, dragonflies, see how I'm spraying that? They mean luck, and it means courage and bravery and success. And so that's why there's dragonfly all over their stuff. Even like the warriors in the samurai and stuff used, their helmets had sort of wings that came off and they looked like dragonflies because of its special meaning to the culture. Now, I'm going to sort of firm this up all around and see if I can get this moving around just a little bit more blended. So in 1958, they started producing their felt tip pens. In 1967, the monoline with the pencil was created, so that's been around since the 60s. In 1979, the Tombow pen and pencil, the GmbH was founded in Cologne in Europe as a sales subsidiary for the European market, and it has moved a couple times since then. So that's not still in Cologne today, right now. In 1983, Tombow, the American Tombow Inc. was founded for a subsidiary for the North American market. So Tombow has been in the US since the 80s. In 1984, this pen was created. 1984, and when it was first created, there was only 72 colors. And now there is 108. Kind of looks a little tie-dye. In 1986, they launched their Zoom series, and in the 90s came their correction tape. You know what I want to add? I want to add some leaves. In 2001, they began their sales subsidiary in the Chinese market. And In 2011, Tombow Europe gets its first online store. And then in, let's see, 2016, Tombow Europe gets its first online store. And then in 2021, they take over handling French markets. So they've moved into France a little bit. And I want to talk a little bit about the web pages. So there are two main web pages for Tombow, and they are different. So one of them is tombowusa.com. Now, both of these are for Tombow. They're for the company, they're for the product, but both have different things. And I always want to talk to you and tell you about freebies and things that are offered on websites in case folks don't know. So on Tombow USA, they have, under their tips and projects tab, they have over 75 project tutorials. And if you're in Europe, yes, some of them are centered around holidays. You may not have. Some of them are kind of maybe a little bit more US centric, but there's still tips and tricks and things to sort of glean from how to use their products and get different ideas when doing stuff with their products. So there's also printable color charts and trackers. So if you own a few pens and you want to see kind of what they have or what you may want, they have printables where you can swatch and keep track of the pens you own, because they're up to 108 of these dual tip, the ABT pens. There's free coloring worksheets if you want some coloring pages for yourself or for kids or for whoever who likes to color. It's very meditative and relaxing. They have wallpapers for your desktop computer in case you kind of want to spice it up and do some bright, cheery things when you open up your computer. They have workshops. So right now they currently only have 5. And at the bottom of the workshop, they're free, and they link to their YouTube page. And 2 of them are over an hour long. So the Tombow YouTube page is kind of interesting. It's a weird smattering of some sort of 9-minute tutorials, a lot of sort of quick 1-minute advertisements, and then there's 5 huge tutorials on there that are very good and very thorough and absolutely worth their weight in gold. So I will link all the different things. The second webpage that Tombow has that's different, but still Tombow, is tomboweurope.com. Now, when you go there, it's going to default to Dutch, the Dutch language. But in the very, very top right, there's sort of like a little teeny tiny globe, and you can click EN and put it into English. So everything on the European webpage can be read in English. And this is where you will find the history of the company, actually. And they have tutorials on there. Under their inspiration tab, they have over 40 tutorials that are totally different from Tombow USA. And then if you just click on a specific category, you get sort of a default page that has more information on it that's really, really cool. So there's tons of stuff. And, you know, the tomboweurope.com has a newsletter. So, and you can get that newsletter in English as well. So if you are interested in all this stuff, I'm not sure what the newsletter provides. I imagine that there might be more tutorial information or things about their products coming out. That could be a temptation if you're doing a no-buy. But it also could have really cool interviews and stuff. I'm not sure. My cat just yawned. It was cute. So I highly recommend that you actually go to both web pages for all the different tutorials, especially if you're interested in like the hand lettering aspect, or if you're just interested in using their water-soluble qualities and sort of painting with these pens, because you can paint with them. I'm going to use the water in my mister here, but you can paint with these. The trick to painting with Tombow pens is you want to use watercolor paper. That is the trick. If you're not using watercolor paper, it becomes increasingly difficult. I am using just a student grade hot press. It is very flat, easy to work with. There's no bumps or anything, but it's great for if kids want to paint with their markers. So if you want to paint with your Tombow pens, you absolutely can. You just need water and you need watercolor paper, and any quality will work. You can also take directly from the tip and sort of add things. I'm gonna add little stars or something. You can also blend colors. You can put a color on a color and blend. You blend your colors together and get a little bit blue, and you can maximize the amount of colors you own by blending the inks together and creating more. I hope this video was interesting. I hope this helped. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.